Ladies and gentlemen, we are live up here in the booth to bring you the Sunbelt Rentals Cup Series here at Darlington. The lady in black waits for nobody, and we are ready to see the action that is going to be out there on the track tonight. As always, my name is Hunter Foley, and I'm up here with my broadcast partner, Jonathan Smith. We are Knapp Daddy Racing, and we are proud to be bringing you the Sunbelt Rentals Cup Series here live from Darlington tonight. About to see these drivers get out here and get their qualifying times in, but before that, I want to make sure that the first thing that we do is thank our sponsor. As we said, this is the Sunbelt Rentals Cup Series. So huge shout out to Sunbelt Rentals for making this whole thing possible, keeping us up here in the booth, keeping these drivers out here on the track. We appreciate them very much. If you or someone you know has any sort of construction project coming up where you need some equipment, whether that's just a job around the house or a large commercial or industrial project, be sure that you check out Sunbelt Rentals. For the Sunbelt Rentals several times myself in the past and never had anything but a great experience. They know what they're doing and they have a ton of experience. So be sure, if you need any equipment for any project you have coming up, be sure to check out Sunbelt Rentals. Again, huge shout out to them for making this whole thing possible. And then, as always, our little shameless self-promo that we get to do, myself and John make up Knapp Daddy Racing. Try to be your one-stop shop for all of your iRacing needs. Started off as a design and template shop. Now we try to do a little bit of everything. Obviously, we're up here in the booth broadcasting, but if you have any iRacing needs, whether that's you need a new design, new template, new logo, be sure to head on over to our website at knapdaddyracing.com and get yourself hooked up with something new. We really appreciate everyone for being here as always. Be sure, if you haven't, make sure that you like and subscribe, not only to the stream but to the channel as well. It helps out a ton, and we will be bringing you all of the Sunbelt Rentals Cup Series action throughout the rest of the year. And again, as always, make sure that you are in the comments cheering on your favorite drivers. I know a lot of them like to go back and watch this thing, so be sure you're cheering them on. We'll be reading them on stream. It's one of my favorite parts of being up here, so looking forward to seeing everyone in the comments as we get ready to get qualifying started here at Darlington. Let me go ahead and shut up and quit my yapping and turn it over to my broadcast partner, John, so we can talk about Darlington a little bit.
Well, I'm here. Ooh. It was kind of a rough one getting this stream started. Seems like there's a lot of updates coming to iRacing starting at 8 o'clock tomorrow Eastern time. And I think a lot of the back-end programs have started doing updates prior to prepare for that. And it caught me off guard for sure. But yeah, here we are in Darlington. It's going to be very slick, very fast. You're going to have to really hit your marks like Aiden Wilson doing there as he grabs that pole position. Cody Bullitt falling in right behind him in second place right here for now. Well, his timing showing he's going to grab second place, I should say, but on my side at least. But yeah, you're going to have to really hit your mark, man. It's a groove. There's a rhythm you have to get into. If you get thrown off your rhythm, it can really mess you up. Sometimes it's going to be harder for these drivers to pass than others. There's only about 3 lanes of drivable track coming around this turn here in turn 3 and 4, so definitely going to be a fun time out there.
Definitely is. I know we've broadcasted a couple of Darlington races at this point, and they're always a lot of fun. Kind of like you said, I think we're going to be kind of play with the conditions here a little bit too. With track temps at 85 right now, I've definitely seen it get hotter than that, so maybe that'll give them a little bit more grip. I was trying to listen into the practice radio a little bit while these guys were getting their initial practice laps in, and the one thing I kept hearing over and over again from people was that it's tight. Is that something you usually see a lot in the beginning at Darlington, or is that a result of track temp and it'll loosen up as time goes on?
I mean, like, it is kind of, I don't know how tight they're talking about. I think it's kind of normal. Like you see Simon Grills kind of flip to the wall there, especially coming into turn 3 and 4s. We'll try to hop into a cockpit cam here with Simon Grills and maybe hop over to Ryan Moyer. It's going to be very tight getting off of turn 4 there, especially. You're going to feel like that wall is going to come out and grab you, especially getting into the corners. If you're not letting off early enough, you feel like your car is going to plow up into the wall. Ryan Moyer does a good job keeping it off there, letting off the gas a little bit. Little tap there. Might mess up his qualifying time, but yeah, especially right there getting into the corners where it's going to get very tough. But yeah, I mean, it can feel tight, but you'll kind of get to a rhythm, to a groove, and keep sending it through there. Probably get a little faster as the run goes on.
Yeah, I was going to say, I know the Darlington Stripe's pretty infamous. Does that come from, kind of as the race goes on, those tires get more and more worn out? I know tires is going to be a huge issue here at Darlington. Does a lot of that come from trying to get back up to the top so you can actually be able to kind of make that turn and get back down to the bottom of the track, and it's just the tires start giving up on you, and that's what puts you up there in the wall?
Yeah, I'm trying to find somebody on the track now. You're going to see, especially, it's kind of unique entry when you come into turn one. You're going to start very low, almost like you're diving into the bottom of the corner, and then let the car float up to the very top. And either ride that out, or you can diamond it out back low, exiting on the low side. So it's kind of a low entry, mid, high, and then exit low kind of strategy here. That's definitely where you get your stripe from. Turn three is a little different. You kind of start high and float around there and just diamond out. But I think this is one of those tracks where I don't really get the stripe from hitting people or moving people around. It's because this is one of those tracks, as the run goes on, you get more confident in what you're doing, and you're trying to send it just a little bit harder and harder until you find your limit. So I think you'll see these people start having faster lap times as the run goes on. Surprisingly, you would think that the tire wear is going to affect them a little bit, but I think some people will have some of their fastest laps around lap 15, maybe even after the first pit cycle around like lap 51.
Definitely going to be interesting to try to keep an eye on that. We are doing 150 laps here at Darlington tonight. We will be running a 65% fuel capacity, and these guys will have one fast repair as well. If that is a concept that's new to you, basically you get to, one time during the race, you get to go down pit road, and in the same amount of time that it would take you to do a normal pit stop, you can get all of your repairs done, but you do only get to do it once.
Yeah, we're sitting here watching Greg McConey. He's going to come in around turn one here. Comes in low, floats up to the top, and then he's going to exit low again on that low side. Just like that. Beautiful run. It's kind of a very unique way to get around a circle.
Was definitely interesting to kind of see the line strategy that he took there, but
Let's see if I can hop
really going to be
to a cockpit with him right here. Oh, yeah. Yep. That is textbook Darlington 1 and 2 right there.
And our current pole position winner for right now. We'll see if anybody else comes out here to put down a lap. Currently going to be going to Jeremy Gardner in the number 36 car for the RER Racing team. Put down a 28.93. Jeremy Gardner trying to protect a 2-race win streak. Currently going to be going for number 3 tonight. Moving his way up in the points. He's just outside of the playoff bubble right now. But if he keeps that win streak up, he's definitely going to find himself up there. Currently still, though, the far and away points leader is going to be Ryan Moyer. Has almost 100 points more currently than the second place driver, Jacob Hutnick. Ryan Moyer, I believe, was also our first two-time winner in the Sunbelt Rentals Cup Series. And then Jeremy Gardner has wheeled off the last 2.
Just having a fun time experimenting with our cameras here. I appreciate Craig McConey for giving us some good old footage while we're just hanging out here, waiting for this race to start.
With the sun setting at Darlington, man, it's very cinematic.
Kind of like some Days of Thunder-esque here.
I love it. Fun fact, my dad was an extra in that movie.
No kidding.
Yep. And by
Popcorn guy in
extra,
the
I mean,
background.
I was saying by extra, I mean one of the thousands of people that was up in the stands. Someone else to keep an eye on for sure tonight, and he's not on the track currently, but Jamie Horn qualifying second currently, unless someone else comes along and takes that time away. But he qualified second, and he's only, let's see, that's going to be 4/10 behind, or not 4/10, 400ths, excuse me, behind Jeremy Gardner. So Jamie Horn also looking to be very, very fast here at Darlington tonight. You've raced against him at Darlington, I believe.
Ooh, big shot for Chris McCullough there. Yeah, me and Jamie Horn actually practiced on this track together, and I was feeling pretty good about it, and something came up, and I could not make the race.
Oh, no. Got Nathan Fox in the comments, as always, saying go RER and go Bontrager number 35. Always nice to have Nathan in here on the streams and in the comments. That is Craig Bontrager's spotter there. Got Cody Bullock in here with a little self-deprecating humor, saying 8 to the rear for being terrible. Hey, you're currently qualified 8th, man.
Waiting to see if Chris McCullough is going to jump back on track. He did hit the wall after, looks like only doing about 1/10 of a lap. And it looks like he's going to back out of that car now.
That's going to be an end of that qualifying run. Got TLK Racing in the comments saying go number 8. Cody Bullock was just in there talking trash about himself, and he's got a supporter out here in the crowd. John, do you find Darlington to be a tough track to pass at, or does I feel like Darlington's one of those tracks that if the math's in your head, then it's probably one of your favorites, and if not, you kind of dread it. I know you've said in the past that you usually like Darlington. Do you find it tough to pass here, or do you have a particular line that you like passing on?
It can be tough to pass unless you know your competition out there. You got to know what line they're going to take, because a lot of people do different stuff, and sometimes people just throw out some random moves, just this turn only I'm deciding I'm going to go low, and then it's going to mess up everybody's run, and or at least somebody trying to pass you. So it's definitely about knowing who you're racing with, and these guys have had a while to get to know each other, and hopefully that's going to help out with some of these passes tonight. But we do have the boys out here gridding up. I try to pull up our grid here if you want to read them off for me.
I can do that, and then I did also just get the word that our stage breaks are at 45 and 90 tonight. These stage breaks are for points, and there will be a yellow flag flown for those. So let's see here. Our qualifying drivers here. Pole position tonight for Darlington Raceway in the Sunbelt Rentals Cup Series is going to go to Jeremy Gardner, trying to increase that win streak. Jamie Horn is going to be qualifying second. Simon Grills is going to start third. Tyler Justice in fourth. Jake Euler in fifth. Craig Bontrager in sixth. Aiden Wilson is going to be starting seventh. Cody Bullock going to be starting in eighth position. And that is going to be all of the drivers that put down a qualifying time. After that, it is just going to go based on points. So then it's going to go to Ryan Moyer, Jacob Hutnick, Greg McConey, Christopher McCullough, Kenneth McCullough Jr., and Brandon Trush will make up the rest of the field. 14 drivers out there in their cars with us tonight. I know normally we have not only Greg McConey's teammate, but also a big fan favorite, Frank Marchese, in the grid. Did just get also word from his teammate that Frank's on a date tonight, so that's why he couldn't be here with us.
Hey, go Frank.
We are going green here at Darlington. We are underway. Really good jump for the 98 of Jeremy Horn and for the 36 of Jeremy Gardner. They were pretty side by side there, and then just coming into that entry, Jeremy Gardner took off.
I just noticed, I've never noticed this before, but during that green flag, you could see camera flashes in the audience. When's the last time you saw camera flashes at an event?
I couldn't tell you. Got Kathy Trush in here saying Team Trush number 23. Brandon starting in 13th position here tonight. Definitely expecting him to be further up in the field as this race goes on. Always see Brandon working his way up through the pack.
Yeah, I'm not worried. Brandon's back there in the back right now. I feel like he'll get himself forward here in a few. Also, just a super nice paint scheme. Shout out to whatever company did that. That is nice.
At Knapp Daddy Racing, knappdaddyracing.com.
Yeah, you remember back in like the 90s and like early 2000s, like the Jordan era? Like Jordan's making a dunk and it's just camera flashes behind him. You don't see that now because, yeah, like it's iPhones everywhere. But iRacing apparently does not agree. Camera flashes should come back, especially at Darlington. Some guys going a little bit retro here tonight with the schemes. I'll have to try to find them. So I've seen some people mention them in the comments, but in the Discord server.
It's kind of funny too. Normally, I feel like a lot of times at Darlington, we see everyone kind of get a little more bunched up, like kind of immediately. And these guys kind of immediately went single file. Everyone's just kind of racing in their spot right now, trying to figure out how Darlington's going to race.
I think another factor to that too is that everybody's kind of starting to get that sense that the playoffs are coming up. You know, everybody's trying to make the cut line. I do not have an updated point standings for this week, but it will show up from last week pretty soon here. But everybody's kind of realizing that one race can kind of make it or break it for you here as we're getting to the halfway point of the season. Not a lot of races left for the playoffs start, so got to mind your P's and Q's out there.
Yeah, 100%, especially when you have guys that are, that were kind of further back in the points. I mean, you got Jeremy Gardner, for example, who jumped into the racing season a little bit late, and he's just been flying his way through the points. I mean, he's almost on the playoff bubble. Oh, little bit of trouble there. We saw, he was right around third place. Simon Grills and Tyler Justice almost getting together there.
Like Ryan Moore's going to try to make a pass on Jake Euler. Jake Euler's going to be up into the wall. Aiden Wilson right behind him with that 60 Heinz car. That's one of the throwback schemes we were talking about for Aiden.
I like it. And we have a play for the lead here. Jamie Horn is going to take the lead away from Jeremy Gardner. And it looks like Simon Grills is trying to get his nose in there as well.
This is 2 weeks straight that Simon Grills has been up here, like, vying for a top position. Early on in the race, I should say. I mean, he was fast last week. He had a strategy to come in and take some tires there at the end. Didn't pan
Cody
out.
Bullock gets into the wall hard. There's cars spinning behind him.
That's going to be Brandon Trush falling back just a little bit. Looks like everybody's going to be able to keep it straight and keep it going. I think Cody Bullock's got some right front damage.
Yeah, Cody Bullock got into the wall pretty good there. I think when he was trying to get it back straightened out, I think he might have caught Craig Bontrager up just a little bit.
That's some good logo placement too right there.
I think the McCulloughs also had to kind of get slowed down right there to make sure that they didn't get caught up in that. So that's going to have Christopher and Kenneth McCullough in 12th and 13th.
Meanwhile, Simon Grills, man, again, just kind of making a push here. As you were saying earlier, his strategy just didn't really work out like he wanted to last weekend, but I mean, he was at the front all night. I have nothing wrong with the strategy he pulled. I thought it was fantastic.
Yeah, unfortunately, didn't work out for him last week. But like you were saying, I appreciate someone who's kind of willing to try something new, especially with last week, where I mean, Jeremy Gardner was just a freight train that wasn't going to be stopped, and Simon knew he was fast, probably wasn't as fast as Jeremy, but try something new, see if you can't get up there and get around him. But Jamie Horton out, taking the lead for these, I believe, about the past 5 laps here. Jeremy Gardner sitting there comfortably, about 0.2 of a second behind. Simon Grills looks like he keeps looking for his opportunity to try to get around Jeremy. And then Tyler Justice is right there as well. It looks like Ryan Moyer's going to look to the inside here. We have our first car coming down pit road, looking like it's going to be Cody Bullock that's bringing it down. Definitely had some right front damage from that little impact with the wall a couple laps back. Wonder if he's bringing it down to get that fixed.
Yeah, I didn't think he had that much damage, but he might have. Kind of hard for us to tell just how much damage, especially with these cars. I know we say it a lot, but
put him at the back of the field currently. Going to be now in 14th position, and I believe he only lost 1 lap there.
Yeah, I know we say it a lot. These cars are fragile, made of glass, paper mache. Simon Grills with a run up there onto the bumper of Jeremy Gardner. Gonna have to back off just a little bit. And we do have Rocky back out here at the track tonight. I do have him in another location. He is working to pay off his debt to society. You know, he's...
After that whole turn out the lights incident.
Yeah, I've been throwing tacks out into the track, thinking it's funny, you know. Got to clean it up a little bit, Rocky. There's Rocky.
We gotta get one of those logos they have for Rocky and put that on their Rocky cam.
Wait, what'd you say?
So we gotta get one of those pictures that they have of him and just put that up on the screen, just Rocky cam.
Brother, do you not watch the streams?
I do watch the streams.
I have them. I have both of them. I would like to get a photo of Rocky doing a little parachute out of an airplane so we can have a drone cam from Rocky. You know, he's going to go out there and really put it on the line.
I don't know why I can't see the animation. Rusty Rafferty also in the comments saying, go RER. Rogue Energy Racing currently has Jeremy Gardner running up there in second, right behind Jamie Horn, about 0.3 of a second back now. And you got Tyler Justice back in 6th place. Only about 2.6 seconds back right now. And Craig Bontrager able to start working his way back up too. Was almost caught up in some of that trouble earlier on. Worked his way back up to 9th position. Another guy that's worked his way up from falling back to the back is Brandon Trush. He's all the way back up to 10th as well. Oh, there's the Rocky cam.
I realized I didn't push it over to the viewable side on the first time, but I did last week, though. Rocky was there last week in full force.
For anyone not in on the joke there, Greg McConey's team, normally involving Frank Marchese
I
as
thought
well.
you were about to say Greg McConey's pit.
No. Their racing team is called Trash Panda Motorsports, and they use Rocky the Raccoon as their mascot.
Simon Grills Jake Euler going at it. Yeah, they brought it up to us about Rocky having his own little camera out here, so. And it's like I tell these drivers.
Whoa!
McConey sideways. Speaking of which. Did anybody go around?
I thought they did. Was that McConey and Grills or McConey and Tyler Justice?
It looks like Tyler Justice does have a little bit of damage. I know Bontrager was trying to get around it. I'm trying to get a replay here.
I saw them running side by side. You know, you said that Simon Grills and Jake Euler were kind of going at it for a second there. Simon Grills looked like he had maybe been dropping off the pace just a little bit there.
Yeah, looks like Greg McConey, Tyler Justice down there trying to get around each other. I can't even definitively tell from that angle if somebody went up or somebody went down. Just looks like some racing incidents there, but. Uh-oh. I also got a notification that Christopher McCullough crashed. Was it the
So
slowdown?
he's just driving onto pit road.
Maybe it was the slowdown. And iRacing pinged it as a crash. He does have some damage to that front right there, though. So we're looking at Chris McCullough's car. Not a guy you want to count out. I think last week he had a similar strategy. Was in the very back for most of the race. Ended up coming in P3.
Yeah, the McCullers were both very, very fast last week at Gateway. And Gateway is a really tough track. I know a lot of people had a really tough time getting around Gateway last week, and also you have to kind of throw into that mix that Jeremy Gardner was just a freight train all night long. It can get kind of demoralizing, but both of the McCullers were pushing really, really hard in that race, and Chris ended up coming out third. I think Kenneth got caught up in one of the later accidents.
While this caution is going on, we are going to take a quick 20-second break, and we will be right back. Wait.
Welcome back to racing here at Darlington. Funny enough, we had a lot kind of shuffle around while we were under this break for caution. We are getting ready to go back green here, but did have a little shuffle out of the pit roads. Ryan Moyer now going to be your race leader, followed by Jacob Hutnick, Jamie Horn, Jeremy Gardner, and Jake Euler, making up your top 5. And then we did have a little bit of an accidental racing incident while we were out here under caution. Listening into the radio, sounds like Brandon Trush had maybe a little bit of an equipment issue, and that unfortunately caused him to get slowed down, caused some damage to the front end of the 83 of Greg McConey. So we did, one of those accidental racing things. So McConey was able to get his damage repaired, and they are back out on the track, getting ready to go green here. Green flag racing as we take off. And then again, just listening to the radio, Christopher McCullough in the 4 machine is going to go to the back of the pack here. It does have some damage on that right front. Just didn't want to get in any sort of trouble, get caught into anybody prior to the stage at lap 45.
Going back green here, you do have a new race leader in Ryan Moyer. And you have, I'm going to use a term that a guy that we look up to and we took notes off of when we started this broadcasting thing, a gaggle of cars. Shout out to Intensity Broadcasting for that one. That's a guy we really took a lot of notes off of. But yeah, a good gaggle of cars up here at the front between Ryan Moyer, Jamie Horn, Jeremy Gardner. And you also have Jacob Hutnick sitting in 4th place. Jamie Moyer is going to try to make a pass on the inside of Ryan Moyer. It's going to be hard to make it stick.
It looked like Moyer almost might have gotten up into the wall a little bit there. Maybe that helped his run. Jeremy Gardner,
yes.
Crazy run on entry right there.
There you go.
Old habits die hard.
Oh my gosh. Well, it's the same for me, man. I'm sitting here looking at it. I'm trying to broadcast a race, and I find myself becoming a fan of what's going on. Like, can't talk, just looking at what's going on.
Again, one of the reasons why we keep the driver mics muted. These guys are competitive. They're passionate about racing, and sometimes you might hear some language that's not PG-13 rated. And hard to really blame anybody. I myself have to keep my end of my language up here in the booth, but you just get excited while things are going on, and yeah, it was a heck of a run by Jeremy Gardner there to get him right to the bumper to Jamie Horn.
I'm looking at the comments here. Something went wrong with the 1 car.
I'm sorry?
Something went wrong with the 1 car from Johnny Reef. Johnny Reefer also says Bullock going to need the whole rest of the field to get DQ'd to even have a chance. Cody Bullock sitting right here in 9th place. Only down 1 total spot for tonight. Got a really nice looking paint scheme out there on that old Chevy he's driving out there. I actually love the Hooters paint scheme.
Are you looking at the comments from last week?
Am I? How is this? Yeah, like the comments from last week are pulled up on my video for this week.
Interesting.
That is crazy. I'm sorry, Johnny Reefer, if you're out there.
He is out there, and I know he's been in here before, and he's a fan of Cody Bullock's, and I think he's given a little dig at Cody Bullock there that I am not going to read on stream for fear of angering the YouTube police. And then Rusty Rafferty also in there saying, if you want to keep it PG-13, don't ask Jeremy Gardner about the last time he raced at Darlington. He had a, quotes, incident.
Well, I'm gonna let you take over the comments because mine's literally showing comments from last week.
That's hilarious.
I don't know what's good. Man, all these issues tonight, but looking here, Simon Grills in front of Ryan Moyer now, moving his way up into that P3 spot, trying to catch a podium. Craig Bontrager on the move, too. He's going to be sitting in P5 right now, one spot up from his starting spot tonight. Jake Euler debuting his new paint scheme. It's the last time I'll talk about paint schemes, I swear, but this is my favorite one out of the Knapp Daddy house. Good looking scheme for that Euler Sim Racing. Jake Euler also does his own streaming over on YouTube, I believe. You always check him out.
I believe he's, if you do want to check out his streams, I think it's Euler Sim Racing on YouTube. Always want to make sure to give Shine and shout out people who are streaming and putting in the work.
Also putting in the work. Craig Bontrager is going to fall back just a little bit, but he does have a nice, good old paint scheme too. All those RAR guys. I know we've had, I believe it's Shasta Jewel in the comments before who does those paints. I'm a big fan.
Yeah, those things are slick. Good night for the RAR team, though. Got Jeremy up there running second. Him and Jamie Horn been kind of going back and forth all night long. You got Craig Bontrager up there in fifth now, working on getting his top 5.
You know, they've the RER team has kind of turned it around. This was the end of the season. And I'm not saying they were doing bad. It's like there was a lot of bad luck involved. And since then, it seems like they've kind of caught their stride and having some really good finishes here lately, especially behind Jeremy Gardner, who's won, podium in the last 3 and then winning 2 of the last 3.
Yep. Yeah, he has been a absolute speed demon out there the past couple of weeks. And then just it's good to see guys like Craig who've, like you said, kind of dealt with a lot of that bad luck early on in the season. Now he's working his way back up and hadn't had so many incidents kind of affect his run over the past few, and makes a pass there to work his way up into 4th there. K-Doggy in the comments saying, what's up? What is up? Good to have you in here.
Sorry, Hunter. I know we're not supposed to be checking our phones during this or whatever, but I just sent you the screenshot of what I'm seeing on my side right now. I have no idea, man. That's crazy. You just thought I was just really good at remembering comments from last week.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I was like, I very specifically remember the comment from Johnny talking about Cody needs the whole field to wreck. I was like, wait a second.
I just updated my YouTube and can see what's the comment is now. Yeah. K-Doggy up here in the comments, he did help the KDR team broadcast the other night when Hunter was not able to make it. And by the way, we didn't make our picks tonight, but I hit, I think, 2 of the 3 out of my top 3.
Dang, dude.
The race that you weren't there. And we didn't make our picks tonight. So we'll do it this way.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Let's do it this way. Tell me who's going to come in 4th place tonight.
In 4th place?
No, let's don't do 4th. Let's do 6th place. Who's going to come in 6th?
Greg McConey.
I'm going to tell Greg you said that. Oh, man. 6th place. I'm going to go with, I think, Tyler Justice, I think.
Okay, I like it.
I think he's going to pull it up here at the finish and get a good finish. He needs a good finish. He's had a couple of bad incidents here lately. It seems like whatever Craig Bontrager had earlier this season, he's kind of dumped onto Tyler Justice, as Tyler's usually catching the short end of the stick at most tracks now, but
We are on lap 45 here. We are going to be bringing the first stage to a close here. And it looks like it is Jamie Horn that is going to take home that first stage. Don't think they've thrown the flag just yet, but
I believe they are waiting for
everyone else to get around.
Yeah, I think Aiden Wilson's gonna be the last one to come around. Or maybe it's the top 10 that has to get around.
I believe so. There comes the flag. That is going to bring an end to the first stage of the Sunbelt Rentals Cup Series here at Darlington. Jamie Horn going to be your stage winner. Great run for Jamie in that first 45 laps. Qualified second, took the lead away from Jeremy Gardner about 3 laps in, and definitely led the most laps there. I think he probably got about 35 of those 45 under his belt.
Yeah, I know Jamie really likes this track. We talked to Jeremy Gardner last week, and he said this is his favorite track. So I am definitely not counting Gardner out yet. This is a long race. He definitely probably has something saved up in the tank. And a lot of this, too, as we talk about with these stage breaks, is a good chance to size up your opponent and see what they got, see how they're going to drive it, how hard they're going to push it. Something I'm loving lately, and I don't think I can talk about it enough, Simon Grills. I mean, the past 2 weeks, driving the wheels off of it. Simon Wheels Grills. That was off the top.
Love it.
And we'll change over the ticker for you so you can see where your driver is coming into a pit stop here.
And they are having a little bit of a shuffle as people are trying to maybe play a little bit of pit road strategy here to maybe get some laps back or something like that. I think your lucky dog there would have been Christopher McCullough, I believe. And then
right.
Aiden Wilson probably still going to be 1 lap down, even though he is staying out currently. K-Dog, you saw the comment. Hope the missus is doing okay. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Me and John usually broadcast. There's 2 different leagues that we broadcast for, and I was not up in the booth on last Thursday night. Wife had some health issues that required some surgery, and so I was away helping her with that, but very happy and very thankful to say that she is doing a lot better, recovering well, and is feeling much, much better. So appreciate the comment, appreciate the positive thoughts, and appreciate John and K-Doggy for taking over that broadcast for Thursday night and hold it down for me.
Oh, yeah.
I still did try to stop in when I could.
Yeah, K-Doggy did a good job. Kevin Brown over there from the Doghouse Racing League gave us some really good insight, some good track info. It's probably going to be your stand-in. You're going to have to put him on the payroll. We'll say do it once is for volunteer, do it twice, we'll start paying you. But I definitely appreciate that. It is not fun broadcasting by yourself. I know, like I said before, our predecessor over there at Tennessee Broadcasting, who we learned a lot from, does it by himself every night. I don't understand how he does it, but the guy is a pro. If you want to check out some good racing on Tuesday nights, he does a league that is actually coming to an end tomorrow night with the Gen 4 cars over on Tennessee Broadcasting that I myself race in, but I don't think I'll be able to make it tomorrow night. But there is some good drivers over there, including your very own Jamie Horn. Who knows? Maybe we can get some of these guys to shift over to Tuesday nights as well, get some more time behind the wheel.
Green flag going here. We are back underway here at Darlington. I think there was some weird shuffling coming out of pit road there. Brandon Trush was out there in front of the pack. Looks like he's going back to the back of the pack there.
Yeah, and I saw Jamie Horn come in a second time. I'm not sure what that was about.
Maybe a little pit road strategy. We'll be interested to see how that goes. But Jake Euler going to be your new race leader here. Started in 9th place. Had worked his way up to 1st there.
And Jake's going to actually fall back.
Gonna make your new race leader Ryan Moyer. He's gonna have Jeremy Gardner right behind him in second place. Craig Bontrager moving up to third. Jake Euler, like you said, going back to fourth place there, and Kenneth McCullough Jr. is racing him for that spot. Also, don't want to
Cody Bullock,
anything like that, but whoop.
Sorry about that. Cody Bullock gets into the side of somebody, gets spun to the bottom of the track, able to keep it straight. Going to take some left front damage there as he falls back to 12th place. Jamie Horn able to escape that. Brandon Trush a lap down, able to escape around it as well. Looks like Aiden Wilson's going to fall back now to the back. I don't know if he's dealing with some issues with the car or what, but he is currently a lap down. So if a caution did come out, Brandon Trush is going to get his lap back. And now this is coming to the part we talk about tracks like Bristol and other small tracks that there's two races now going on between Trush and Wilson. Trush wants to be in front for sure, not lose a lap, so not lose another lap, so he can get that lucky dog spot. But also here in the front between Ryan Moyer and Jeremy Gardner for that first place spot.
I was going to say I don't want to count my chickens, and that's why. Greg McConey had worked his way up into the 6th position, has now raced his way into 4th. Looking like he has a really good head of steam going right now. So looks like he's already on the bumper of Craig Bontrager trying to make a pass for 3rd. And he is going to be able to make that inside lane stick there and get into 3rd place.
Checking back in with Jake Euler here. He has continued to fall back, now down 4 spots from where he started tonight, but down 9 spots from where the restart started, as he is currently sitting in P9.
And someone else I definitely want to keep an eye on as well. Like we were talking about earlier, Simon Grill's been looking so fast tonight, been running up there in the top 5. Now currently back in the 10th position. And looking like he might have something going on. Maybe he's trying to get back there and get Cody. I know they raced together and trying to work their way back up to the front collectively, but he's back in 10th place now.
Looks like Cody's going to try to make that pass. Jamie Horn's probably going to follow on this lap, but the next one, maybe Simon sat here saving it. You know he can run at the front. He's proven that tonight. He proved that last week that he's capable of doing so. Oh, as he taps the wall there. Can't do that too many times in these cars. Oh.
See K-Doggy again in the chat as well, saying, you mean I'll have to pay you? No problem. Glad to help. Appreciate you very much, Kevin.
Yeah, I definitely appreciate it. And Simon Grills taps the wall coming into turn 1. Also taps it coming out of turn 2. Jamie Horn's going to get into the back of him just a little bit there as he makes that pass. Simon Grills gets passed also by Brandon Trush. That is not for position, as Trush is 1 lap down, I believe. Did Aiden Wilson just hit pit road again?
He did.
So this is 2 pit stops that he's made in the past 5 laps here. Probably got some damage trying to repair. But our battle for the lead shaking up, heating up right here. Jeremy Gardner, Greg McConey, as they're starting to group up.
Yeah, Greg McConey must have put his foot to the floor, man. He restarted, I believe, in 7th place, and then quickly moved up into 6th. And then once he cleared Craig Bontrager and Kenneth McCullough for 5th and 4th, I mean, he just took off, and now he's right there on the bumper of Ryan Moyer and Jeremy Gardner.
And I know Greg is a aggressive driver, and I believe Greg McConey is a better driver than I am by a long shot. But my idea here is if I do something like this, if I'm Greg McConey, I like to get behind these leaders and just kind of pace, kind of run their same line, run the same pace, make sure I'm saving and make a run here in a few laps. Because, I mean, you've, again, proven that you can get to the front, you can hang with these guys, and now you just kind of save it up a little bit. Be very careful with your passes and make sure you can get around cleanly. Or at least have good track position when that stage break does come out. When is our next stage break?
Sorry, had to fill up my water water glass there really quick. Got to keep this golden voice working. Next stage breaks at 90.
90. Yeah, someone does. I'm sitting here putting drops in my eyes because my contacts keep fogging over. The 83 is starting to look like an R and an L to me for some reason. Cannot read.
Fun fact, John has eyesight, though. When he tries to read those letters at the eye doctor, they say uh-oh afterwards.
That is not a joke. I go to the eye doctor and they put the biggest letter on the screen and he tells me, I know you can't read it, so we're just going to tell me you can't read it so I can mark it down. Every single time. I should not be allowed to drive or on iRacing.
Without your contacts.
Yeah, that would be miserable, man. Doing all the medical education that I have done over the past few years, I got to actually experiment and do a few tests with that and found out that my accurate field of vision is 2 inches away from my face. If it is further than that, I cannot read it without contacts in. But I can see this pretty clearly here that Jeremy Gardner is making a run, and that's going to be a transition point for me tonight. Gardner is catching up for sure to the bumper Ryan Moyer, trying to make a pass. Sizing him up, looking high and looking low.
That was a good one. Well done. I'm proud of you. That does have to be depressing, though, to go see your medical professional about something, and then they just go like, ew.
Yeah, you never want to hear your doctor or your barber say, uh-oh. Jacob Hutnick kind of making a run here on Chris McCullough. That's going to be for the 4th place spot. Looking to make a pass here. Sizing him up just a little bit. And again, here at Knapp Daddy Broadcasting, we are big fans of paint schemes, and I love that paint scheme from the 77 car, Jacob Hutnick. I don't know who made it, so I don't know who to give credit to, but I do like it a lot.
It's looking like McCullough, and I believe I did hear him come over the radio there. Was kind of calling out where he's going to the 77 of Jacob Hutnick. It's going to allow Hutnick to get around and get into 4th place. And then back in a battle for, I believe that's going to be 8th and 9th. You're going to have Craig Bontrager and Cody Bullock kind of going back and forth right there.
Looks like Cody Bullock fell back a little bit, and Trush is going to get around him, not for position.
Right behind them as well, you're going to have Jamie Horn. Jamie, who led the majority of the laps in Stage 1 and was also your Stage 1 winner. Currently running back there in 10th. Obviously knows he has one of the cars to beat tonight, but currently sitting back there in 10th place, about 12 seconds behind the leaders.
Something tells me there's a strategy going on. I don't think Jamie Horn has that much damage. It does concern me that he did pit twice. Maybe even just to give himself a voluntary EOL and send himself to the back as if he's trying to save. Maybe he thinks that he can get to the very end without pitting again. I'm not really sure. I'm not sure how much fuel these cars have in them.
I know it's 65% tonight, but with everybody coming down pit road on 45, having 105 laps to go, I don't know that that's happening.
I don't think so either, but there's definitely a strategy in play there. And I speak highly of Jamie Horn. He's a fantastic driver. A lot of really good drivers in this league, but Jamie Horn, definitely one of them. And if he does something, I usually do what he does if I'm racing with him.
Someone else that you should try to do what they're doing, though, is definitely going to be Ryan Moyer. He's still up there in 1st position. Got Jeremy Gardner about 0.2 of a second behind him. Looking like they are going to start coming up on some lap traffic here in just a second. I believe that's going to be the 60 of Aiden Wilson.
Aiden Wilson's had a really good points run this year, but I know he missed last week, and tonight's performance definitely going to send him back just a little bit too.
Yeah, I know he got some damage early on, and he's been trying to get that taken care of, but yeah, currently going to be running 8 laps down in 14th position, which is the last driver on the track here for this race tonight. So he's going to be 8 laps down, and then Brandon Trush is going to be 1 lap down, and that is in 13th position. Something else to definitely keep an eye on as well is that Simon Grills, who was running very, very fast at the beginning of this race, but was running the top 5 pretty much most of stage 1, now back in 12th position. And he is going to be the next car that would go a lap down if the leaders get up to him before the next stage break, which is at lap 90.
His car is definitely tightening up. He's having a hard time keeping it off the walls or riding along with him in this cockpit cam here. I think this is one of those situations where you just stay on the lead lap, try to keep the car clean, and then get her fixed up under caution once that stage break does hit, and make your run towards the front.
Yeah, it's looking like both him and Jake Euler. Grills running in 12th and Jake Euler running in 11th. Looking like both of them are kind of keeping the car very up high, close to that wall on the high side. I'm thinking they both must be dealing with. I'm having to assume it's probably some really tight cars, and both of them are losing quite a bit of time to the leaders lap over lap.
Yeah, and that's the thing you're going to see here is these cars are going to really tighten up, especially mid corner as the run goes on. A little bit of entry, more in the mid, because you're expecting to run in that same rhythm, but your rhythm kind of has to slow down as the race goes on. You have to back up that entry just a little bit more, let off a little early. So we just saw Jacob Hutton get around Greg McConey here for that third place spot. Trying to look at Greg McConey's right front fender. And it looks like he's got some damage there. I'm not sure if that was before the caution or that's happened when we were looking at some other people, but
Again, kind of have a similar style run to what we saw in stage 1 there, where you have kind of 2 drivers that are able to get out in front and kind of pull away at least a little bit from the rest of the field. Got Ryan Moyer still leading this thing. I believe he's led every lap on this run except for the very first one. And then Jeremy Gardner just sitting right there on his bumper. As you see both of them work their way around the number 13 of Simon Grills, which is going to make him the new first car a lap down. But then to go back to like your 3rd and 4th place drivers, Jacob Hutnick and Greg McConey, they're going to be Jacob Hutnick's about 6.5 seconds back, and Greg McConey just went a little bit over 7.5 seconds. It looks like Kenneth McCullough Jr. might be trying to make a run on Greg McConey and get that 4th position away.
yeah, so I was just about to cut to right there. McCullough trying to get that run on the high side. It scrapes the wall just a little bit. He's trying to do everything he can to get around. He's got 10 laps to do it. I think he's got the car to do it. Greg McConey is not an easy pass to make, though.
And that is one of the things that I do like about having the caution stages where it's for points, is that it gives you a lot of incentive, especially here late in the run. Like you said, we've been talking about it, the cars are getting tighter, it's getting harder and harder to drive out there. Kind of gives that motivation to push just a little bit harder, and that battle between Greg McConey and Kenneth McCullough Jr. would otherwise just be a couple of guys going back and forth for 4th and 5th when we're about 60% of the way through the race. But there's points on the line at this point, and we brought it up early to the play officer. Getting closer and closer.
Trying to see, this is our closest battle that we have right now on the track. Next closest, I believe, is going to be Christopher McCullough and Craig Bontrager's. Craig Bontrager's trying to chase down Chris McCullough in the 04 car. We talked about him earlier in the back. I know in Gateway last week he stayed in the back for the most part, ended up P3. Craig Bontrager with a great run here to make that pass pretty easily. It's going to have to close that door, though. Don't get crossed over.
I feel like it's the second time I've seen like just a really, really crazy fast run by somebody on entry. Is that something that you like, if you just stay in the throttle a little bit longer and just pray to God it sticks? Or what's kind of the cause of that like big slingshot run you're seeing people get on entry? I saw Jeremy Gardner do it a couple times tonight too.
Well, a lot of times, too, is the car in front of you is going to hit the wall coming out or get a little loose, pushing it too hard out of the corner. If they don't hit that corner just right coming out, the car can get a little upset. But also a big thing is turning down that brake bias as the run's going on, keep decreasing and decreasing, and eventually that brake will help you rotate into the corner a little bit. And I know we talked about it a little bit last week, but your brakes are going to kind of help you rotate into the corner. Your gas is going to help you rotate out of the corner. So adjusting that brake bias accordingly, hoping you don't burn up your tires so you're able to make it stick. But they're going to pass Jake Euler there. Jake Euler is going to be the first car a lap down now. So bad news for Brandon Trush, who was trying to fight for that lucky dog at the beginning of this run. He's going to be back in the third place lap down spot. Then you got Simon Grills and Jake Euler. Jake Euler would get the lucky dog at this point here, but those leaders are quickly approaching Cody Bullitt.
Yeah, they're only about a half a turn behind him. He's got 4 laps to try and see if he can hold him off. We have seen Ryan Moyer kind of step on the gas here a little bit at the end of this run. He's pulled out to 0.7 of a second of a lead over Jeremy Gardner. Here as we come to 4 laps to go before the stage 2 caution is thrown. Top 5 still currently going to be Ryan Moyer, Jeremy Gardner, Jacob Hutnick, Kenneth McCullough Jr., and Greg McConey. The leaders have put, I feel like, a more significant amount of time on the rest of the pack this run. I mean, Jacob Hutnick's in 3rd place, and he's going to be about 10 seconds behind. Kenneth McCullough Jr. and Greg McConey in 4th and 5th are 11 and 12 seconds behind, respectively. I know the leaders, when it was Jamie Horn and Jeremy Gardner in that stage 1, I know they were putting a pretty good gap on the rest of the field, but I don't think it was quite that much.
Absolutely not. Tyler Justice doing his best to get around Greg McConey here for that 5th place spot for the sage brake hits. I believe these are the two that had the little scuffle earlier coming off of turn 4 on the front stretch.
It is.
Justice has the run, going to look to the inside, might try to take it here on this next corner. Oh, I think he just kind of overshot there just a little bit, and he's going to fall back behind Greg McConey. Ryan Moyer's bringing it around to the 90th lap.
It looks like Justice had the run there, but just wasn't able to stick down there on the bottom side.
Yeah, it's so hard to enter a corner low and then stay low and then exit low. I mean, you're going to lose a lot of time just getting on the brakes to get that car around, but that's why you see a lot of these cars float back up to the top, get as close to the wall. The wall doesn't make you faster, but if you get outside and you can apex that corner a little easier, it does help a whole lot.
We are going to cross the stripe here. I know we do got to wait for some of the other drivers to get around, but that is officially going to make Ryan Moyer in that 59 car your stage 2 winner here at the Darlington Raceway in the Sunbelt Rentals Cup Series.
Yeah, so Tyler Justice able to clear McConey here, but he will not get the points for 5th place on the stage. because it will be whenever they cross the finish line at lap 91 when that lap 91 starts. But the caution does fly once that 10th car does pass the finish line.
That is going to give your lucky dog to Jake Euler, who's going to get back onto the lead lap. Cody Bullock able to stay out in front of a hard-charging Ryan Moyer. Like we were talking about a few minutes ago, Ryan Moyer looked like he really turned the gas up in those last couple laps. Was able to get a 1.1 second lead on Jeremy Gardner. I mean, he was putting down some great times. I mean, you had Jacob Hutnick and Kenneth McCullough Jr. in third and fourth, 12 and 15 seconds back. And then Tyler Justice and Greg McConey both about 19 seconds back. And then Craig Bontrager was 22 seconds back when that caution was thrown.
Looks like
Pretty much everybody going to be bringing it down pit road. Looks like Jake Euler got his lap back and is now bringing it back down pit road. Currently, the only car out there behind the pace car is going to be the number 13 machine of Simon Grills. Wondering if he's trying to get his lap back the hard way here.
yeah, so I believe he should get the wave around if that puts him at the front. See who else is coming off pit road here. You got Cody Bullock making his way out. Looks like Jake Euler is going to be right behind him. But that's Greg McConey. Eyesight, right? Then Brandon Trush making his way off. There comes Jake. Right in front of that pace car. Going to keep his lap. Oh, there's going to be a race off pit road here. Jacob Hutnick going to keep his lap, I believe. And again, Jamie Horn bringing it down a second time.
So I wonder if he's got some damage that he's trying to repair, or if this is like a pit road, like a gas strategy kind of thing. I'm not really sure. Probably going to have about 54, 53 laps to go when we get this thing back underway. I do believe we are going to restart this thing with 12 cars on the lead lap. It's going to be Ryan Moyer, Jeremy Gardner, Kenneth McCullough Jr., Tyler Justice, Craig Bontrager, Cody Bullock, Jamie Horn, Christopher McCullough, Jake Euler, Simon Grills, Greg McConey, and Jacob Hutnick all on the lead lap. Brandon Trush is going to be 1 lap down, and Aiden Wilson is 9 laps down.
Oh my goodness.
We are back under green. Big shuffle right there in the middle of the pack as we got this thing back underway.
Moyer got a good jump. I don't know if he kind of fooled him or what. Jeremy Gardner looks like he did not get on the gas fast enough. Going to lose that spot to Kenneth McCullough Jr. Some good old racing going on right behind with Cody Bullock. We know that he has a rocket switch inside that car too that he can turn on anytime. I don't remember where we were at where he did that, and I mean just flew to the front. Like, I've never seen a car outpace other cars that quickly. I believe it was Vegas, maybe.
I think it was Vegas. But he is now going to be battling side by side with Tyler Justice in that 33 car for the 4th position.
Jamie Horn dropping to the bottom of the track. He's going to move all the way to the back right now. Aiden Wilson down pit road again. Ryan Moyer out to about an 8/10 lead already.
Oh, saw a car get up into the wall a little bit there. I think it might have been Brandon Trush. Just touched the wall a little bit there. Looked really loose.
Simon Grills hanging out in the back. Looks like he's going to bring it down pit road.
He's also just got to be trying to get some damage fixed. And then we also see Greg McConey out there, currently running in 12th position, still on the lead lap, but he is 24 seconds off the pace.
Oh,
I know he was down on pit road for a while. I think he was trying to get some damage repaired, but
that's unfortunate. Cody Bullitt makes the pass on Tyler Justice to move up in that 4th place spot and then gets loose coming out of turn 2. That's going to send him back to 8th place.
I believe he's got Brandon Trush right there behind him. Brandon Trush is going to be a lap down. And he's also got Jacob Hutnick, who's about a half a second behind him there, trying to work his way up, get further up inside the top 10.
Kind of seeing how these cars are going to balance out here. Jake Euler making the pass on Tyler Justice. Looks like Chris McCullough is going to move on through as well. As Jake Euler takes that 5th place spot. McCullough up to 6th place. He is up 6 spots tonight. Not your biggest mover, though. Your biggest mover tonight is going to be Kenneth McCullough Jr. as it stands right now. Currently sitting in P2, up 11 spots. And it looks like Ryan Moyer is trying to make a pass on Simon Grills to put Grills 2 laps down.
That would put Grills 2 laps down, and it's looking like while this is kind of going on, it's looking like Kenneth McCullough Jr. is really starting to get a run on Ryan Moyer here. It's looking like Simon's just kind of staying up there at the top of the track.
Oh, he gets really loose there, down to the bottom.
Grill's going to go all the way to the bottom. That's going to get Moyer and McCullough Jr. both past him. Again, putting Simon Grills 2 laps down. I'm not sure if it was the way that Grills was racing or if Moyer, it seemed like Moyer was having a little bit of trouble getting around him.
Yeah, it looked like Grills was just holding his line like he was doing every lap. And my thing is, if you're a lap car, I don't expect you to pull over for me, but just keep your line consistent. I think Grills was doing that pretty well. Just a hard track to pass at.
Yeah, especially as you're getting this late in the run. You know, you're trying to make sure you still have some tires at the end of this thing. You don't want to do any sort of crazy driving, especially with 47 to go. Especially when you know there's a lot of other very, very fast cars out here tonight. Moyer did a great job in stage 2, but you got McCullough Jr., who's been really turning up the heat here these past couple laps. Jeremy Gardner's been right there all night long. He's about 2 seconds back right now, but you have to wonder if he's going to try to save something in the tank for the end of this race.
See if we can hop on board here with Kenneth McCullough Jr. So you can see that distance between him and Ryan Moyer. That whole thing between Moyer and Grills did allow McCullough to catch up about half a second.
He currently now sits only about 0.2 of a second off the lead of Ryan Moyer. And the rest of the field just racing for their positions. You got Christopher McCullough right now, who's currently running in 6th place. He's trying to make some moves on the 35 machine of Craig Bontrager.
Well, we haven't done it in a few laps here, but time to give Rocky a good old shout. Check in with Rocky and see how he's doing back there on the back stretch. Thank you, Rocky. We appreciate your service. Had to make sure he went through a security check before he came out here tonight to film. Make sure he got the marbles out of his pockets that he could not throw them on the track. Jake Euler's kind of making a push here as he's up into the 4th place spot. Craig Bontrager, same thing, getting around him, trying to push it 3 wide. Looks like Chris McCullough. So Jake's going to fall back, but Craig Bontrager going to move up, trying to get around Simon Grills here. This is not for position, but will get him a little closer to Jeremy Gardner in 3rd place.
Yeah, I'm very curious to kind of see what Jeremy Gardner has up his sleeves, if he has anything up his sleeves for the end of this race. I know when we talked to him in Victory Lane last week, he said the dog is one of his favorite tracks. Obviously been very, very fast tonight, qualified in 1st position. But then both of the stages, he's been kind of right there. Been right about 2nd or 3rd, mostly been in 2nd. Jamie Horn taking most of the laps in stage 1, and Ryan Moyer taking it pretty commandingly in stage 2.
Speaking of Jamie Horn, he did bring it down pit road again, and he's going to fall back 1 lap down. Currently, if caution came out, Brandon Trush would be your first car a lap down, so he would get that lap back. Looks like Cody Bullock bringing it down pit road now.
And one of the things we talked about kind of early in this run as well was how Greg McConey had to spend a little bit longer on pit road getting some damage repaired. And he's been about 24 seconds back pretty much the entirety of this run, but has not yet given up a lap. So he's obviously going to be putting down some pretty good times.
I believe that's going to put Cody Bullock a lap down. Yeah, Greg McConey was up in that P3 spot earlier, fighting for it pretty hard. We came back to him. He had some damage to that front right. I don't know if that's affecting him at all right now, but definitely not on the same pace that he was earlier this race.
Looks like Ryan Moyer has kind of been ever so slowly building that lead out just a little bit, lap over lap. Kenneth McCullough Jr. been about 4/10 to right at 5 back most of this run. Did just increase that last lap to 0.6 of a second back on the leader, Ryan Moyer. Rest of your top 5 is going to be between 2 and 3 seconds back.
Nobody really close trying to battle right now that I can see here on my timing side, but everybody's kind of spread out a little bit. Maybe save some tires, get ready for a good push here at the very end. And you're hoping that Ryan Moyer has burned them up at the front, but from what we know about Ryan Moyer, I don't know if that's happened yet.
Yeah, I mean, Ryan Moyer, I know we've talked a lot about Jeremy Gardner here the past couple weeks, and deservingly so. He's run 2 incredible races. But Ryan Moyer, prior to Jeremy Gardner joining the league, was the winningest driver over here in the Sunbelt Rentals Cup Series and has a commanding points lead. Probably going to increase that again a little bit tonight because I believe Jacob Hutnick is going to be your second place points guy, and he's currently running back in 8th.
Jeremy Gardner able to catch up on Kenneth McCullough Jr. as McCullough hits the wall. McCullough Jr. hits the wall. Both turns coming into turn 3, so trying to figure some stuff out there, but that's definitely going to cause some damage and slow him down a whole lot. You know, Craig Bontrager is excited to see that too, as he's been running down Jeremy Gardner.
Yeah, I was going to say, Kenneth McCullough Jr. with that kind of couple little taps to the wall there. Now all of a sudden the Rogue Energy Racing teammates are right there on his bumper, and they're going to try to work their way around this lap. You already see Jeremy Gardner do his inside there. Got K-Doggy in the chat asking what happened to the 98.
We are not sure.
A little bit of damage. I'm gonna say we're not 100% sure. We didn't see it happen, but both of the last cautions, he's brought it down pit road in extra time. I think he's been trying to get some damage repaired. And still don't think he's quite been able to get that thing back up to full strength.
Yeah, and if I had to put a key to the racer, especially Darlington, you got to keep it clean, especially that right front clean, not just the tire, but that right front quarter panel, because as you can see, Kenneth McCullough Jr. hit the wall a few times, now going to bring it down pit road, probably to repair some damage, but that's definitely slowed him down a lot. Jeremy Gardner gets around, Craig Bontrager gets around. Bontrager moving up to that podium position, P3 right now, up 3 spots for the night. Your biggest mover is now going to be Christopher McCullough. It looks like he's going to be bringing it down pit road as well. So some early pit stop strategies for some of these guys could definitely make things shake out. Yeah, that tells me that there has to be a green flag pit stop in between that last stint, which is good. I think it makes good racing.
I thought he was going to bring it down, but he looped it.
He kept it out. It looked like he was trying to bring it down. Maybe it was just going to overshoot.
Maybe so.
He's trying again here, it looks like. Unless this is just a iRacing line I'm unfamiliar with. But there he goes.
He is going to bring it down this time. Looks like he's got some company in there as well.
So we see Brandon Trush bringing it down here right now. Kenneth McCullough Jr. coming off of pit road just a second ago. Cody Bullock into the wall. He's going to put it down the track and bring it in before the caution flag comes out. So we're going to stay green. That's coming off of turn 4 there. Cody Bullock just comes down to the bottom, hits the wall.
Did you just get loose on him?
Yeah, I believe so. So currently only 7 cars on the lead lap. Your last car on the lead lap is going to be Greg McConey. Back 28, almost 29 seconds on the leader now. You can see Ryan Moyer on his heels.
Coming in hot.
But look at this. Jeremy Gardner has made up almost a second and a half on Ryan Moyer.
Actually, he's been starting to step on it a little bit, and I think we're starting to see this is when it's really going to start getting tricky. I mean, we've been out there for it's going to be 123 laps this time by. So only got 27 laps to go. You can definitely tell a lot of these guys are starting to battle with some really, really tight cars.
As we see the pit stints here, a lot of people starting to bring it in. So maybe you're going to have to pit, maybe a green flag stop coming. That's going to make things really interesting between Moyer and Gardner. Also Bontrager, who's also pulling in on the leader as well.
I just saw Tyler Justice, who was your 5th place driver, bring it down. So he's getting it on pit road right now.
Here comes Ryan Moyer bringing it down. Jeremy Gardner's going to stay out. It's going to make him your new race leader. Craig Bontrager in that 2nd place spot, who is still gaining time on Jeremy Gardner.
Just heard some panic talking over the radio. I think Christopher McCullough and Jacob Hutnick almost got into each other right there. Heard Christopher McCullough apologize and saying they got really, really tight on in there.
Yeah, it looks like Hutnick's still on the lead lap here.
This is where the strategies are going to start to get really, really interesting because, I mean, at this point, you're going to start dealing with, if you don't go get those fresh tires, I mean, they're going to be able to run you down so quickly.
Yeah, and Jeremy Gardner's going to take heed to your strategy here and bring it down pit road. Craig Bontrager going to be your new race leader. Picking up a lap lead. Get him some bonus points.
Love to see it. I believe that's going to mean that the only drivers now who have not pitted is going to be the 35 of Craig Bontrager and the number 77 machine of Jacob Hutnick.
Yeah, Hutnick also brought it down lap 92 as well as Bontrager, so you know it's got to be coming here soon. And I'm sure they can stretch it just a little bit further, but probably not ideal with everybody else pitting. Craig Bontrager is bringing it down right now. Jacob Hutnick going to keep it out on the track. Did not pick up that lap lead, as he did not pass Bontrager until after the line.
He's going to try to keep it out for one more, get that lap lead. Looks like he is.
Jamie Horn now got his lap back. Up in that second place spot. 13 seconds behind Jacob Hutnick and gaining quickly.
Jamie pitted more recently than everybody else because he brought it down that second time. We were thinking it might be to repair damage, and it still might have been, but now that's given him the ability to kind of still be out there on the track while everyone else is bringing it down.
Yeah, and he's been about 23 laps since he last pitted, and there's 21 to go, so theoretically he can make it off of this set. The problem is that Ryan Moyer and Jeremy Gardner both have fresh tires. Going to be on his heels here in a second.
Yeah, I'm going to say that's kind of the downside of the position that Jamie was in, where he was either a lap down or 20 plus seconds behind. Is that now those guys, Ryan Moyer and Jeremy Gardner, Craig Bontrager, have all gone through their pit cycles, and they're only 4 seconds behind Jamie Horn.
As we flash up the weather here for a second, you can see the track temp sitting at a nice 83 degrees. Cool track, going to keep it a little more grip for the guys out there. A little bit of wind, not too much. That's going to affect those guys a little too much. Humidity's a little higher than normal, so that will affect some of their gear ratios and how they're shifting and when they're shifting. I've seen Ryan Moyer keep it in 4th gear all the way down the front stretch. Some other people opting to shift into 5th gear down the front, but definitely some different strategies that humidity comes into play.
I got to know, when was the last time that Jacob Hutnick brought it down?
Lap 92.
So he's going to be on 40 lap old tires right here. I mean, I don't feel like is there any chance that he has the gas to make it?
I'm not sure. I don't think that those guys ran it out of gas and fully tapped the tank during that first stint. I know every one of them got 45 laps in, but there's a possibility. We can ride along, see if he is doing any kind of saving strategy. You can see him keep it in 5th gear, so maybe so. Yeah, he is definitely trying to save that fuel to the very end and hope he can make something of it. But you can tell those tires are not agreeing with him. As he hits all the way on the clutch going into the corners to get those RPMs down. So yeah, definitely saving up here. Simon Grills on this inside getting around him.
I said the thing for Jacob is that he doesn't have but so much time that he can really spend saving. I mean, these guys are starting to gain a lot of time on him. Jamie Horn now only 7.2 seconds back, and Ryan Moore and Jeremy Gardner, who were about 12 seconds back just a few laps ago, now both under 9 seconds.
Yeah, I'm looking at my board here. A lot of these guys have pitted at least 3 times. I don't know if they have taken tires all 3 times. Looks like Ryan Moore, Jeremy Gardner getting around Jamie Horn.
It looks like Jamie let them go by there. Looks like Craig Bontrager's lining up to do the same. I don't know, 15 laps to go, that's a long time. And If there was 5 to go, I might feel a little bit better if I was Jacob Hutnick, but the pace that Ryan and Jeremy and Craig have been putting on this race, I don't know that I'm feeling super comfortable.
Yeah, the thing is too, if you got a third set, and if he hasn't used them yet, I mean, it could pay off if there is a caution, but that's kind of putting all your chips in. Craig Bontrager gets around Jamie Horn as well to move up into that 4th place spot. And at this pace, I believe when it cycles out, Moyer, Gardner, Bontrager is going to be your 1, 2, and 3 as they're rapidly catching the leader, Jacob Hutnick.
Yeah, I mean, that lead was 5 seconds last lap, and it's down to 3.1 here. Still really, I mean, again, I love a good strategy play. We've talked about it before. I mean, this way Jacob Hutnick gets a lot of laps led like we were talking about earlier. He'd been kind of running kind of in that 7th, 8th position a lot of this race, and being second in points to Ryan Moyer, being able to get out here and get some laps led, definitely going to help his cause.
Yeah, we pull up the deltas here, and it looks like in the past 7 laps now he has caught up or lost 11 seconds on Ryan Moyer, Jeremy Gardner.
Good Lord. I mean, if you're Jacob, you're going to start praying for a caution at this point. I mean, because it's kind of, as we see it kind of happening in front of us there, it is kind of going to be inevitable that they get around you. But at this point now, it's about holding position and seeing what you can actually, hang on to, as we see Craig Bontrager ripping around the high side. He's trying to get up there and get involved with that battle for the lead.
Yeah, it looks like Bontrager's going to take that outside, take over 3rd place. He is 2 seconds behind right now, trying to make up some time on Jeremy Gardner. Gardner's trying to make a move right here for the lead.
We kind of wondered all night if Jeremy Gardner, who's been very, very strong tonight, been running in 2nd or 3rd, if he was going to have anything up his sleeves to make a try for the lead toward the end of this race. Ryan Moyer won stage 2, led the most laps on stage 2 as well. See if Jeremy Gardner's got anything for him.
We got 9 to go here at the stripe. Only 1/10 separates the leader from 2nd place right now. I don't know if Gardner knows that he's faster and that he knows he can pass, if he's just waiting, if he's going to try to do it right here. He gets to the inside of Moyer. Got to make it stick. That high side is going to be fast, and Moyer can make it stick on the high side.
Stick it.
He's going to slide up. Nice little slide job. Moyer gets him to the wall a little bit. Your new race leader, Jeremy Gardner.
Yeah, really good job. We talked about it all night. That inside lane can be great for making a pass, as long as you can get it to stick. I think we saw Tyler Justice trying to use the inside earlier on to make a couple of passes, and then he finally got up to somebody and he couldn't make it stick. And the downside of using that strategy is not only not getting the position that you were trying for, but it just gets your car so loose it can actually result in you losing more than one spot.
We just saw Jake Euler take that 6th place spot from Jacob Hutnick. He is still falling back as this run goes on. Jamie Horn holding on to that P4 spot, followed by Christopher McCullough. Probably would have been a little bit further up, but he did have that mishap trying to get down pit road and had to stay out another one. Jake Euler is on his heels right now, trying to make a move here.
Yeah, and what a job by Jamie Horn. I mean, we know that he's on older tires as well, and you're seeing how that's affecting that 77 machine of Jacob Hutnick. I mean, he's trying to hang on to a top 8 at this point.
It's like a little bit of contact there between Jake Euler and Christopher McCullough. Little racing incident.
Heard Christopher McCullough come over the radio and say sorry, but Jamie Horn's still able to hold on to that 4th position. We're coming into lap 146 here, and Jeremy Gardner has been able to build himself out a little bit of a lead. He's got almost a half a second on Ryan Moyer right now.
Aiden Wilson. Oh, and Kenneth McCullough going to go low for the leaders there. I didn't know there was going to be some team strategy going on. Aiden Wilson teammates with Ryan Moyer. Oh, Craig Bontrager gets a little loose there, trying to get around these 2 cars.
He was trying to get around Kenneth McCullough Jr. there, and I think he was trying to get down on the low side.
Aiden Wilson popped out and made it too wide. He couldn't get around both of them.
He had to dive all the way to the bottom of the track to try to get around him. Looked like he popped the wall pretty good right there, too, on the high side.
Yeah, Jake Euler's coming quick for Jamie Horn. I think Horn might give it to him there, yeah. Jamie Horn, respectful driver, making a gentleman's move, giving it to Jake Euler. Jake Euler has fresher tires. So now it's going to be Jeremy Gardner, Ryan Moyer, Craig Bontrager, Jake Euler, Jamie Horn that rounds out your top 5 right now. It's like Tyler Justice trying to get around Hutnick.
I know we talked about it earlier on, and you love to see a strategy play, but especially late in the race, that's a tough one to try to gauge. And he did a great job getting some laps led and getting some points on the board, but this one he's trying to hang on. We were talking about a few seconds ago to his top 8, and it's looking like Tyler Justice is trying to work his way around. But after kind of sitting back the entire race, Jeremy Gardner now has a 1-second lead on Ryan Moyer. We talked about it in the beginning of the race. If anyone was going to have any tricks up their sleeve to make a move at the end of the race, but it's going to be Jeremy Gardner. Jeremy Gardner, call it a three-peat, back to back to back. Great run by Ryan Moyer and Craig Bontrager there. They're going to round out your top 3. But Jeremy Gardner, your race winner here at Darlington, your first Sunbelt Cup Series driver to go back to back to back. And they say that Darlington's the track that's too tough to tame, but Jeremy Gardner, after kind of battling through tonight, running second and third for most of the night, was not able to get any of the stage wins. We talk about it all the time, though. It's not about how many laps you lead, it's about which one you lead, and you got to lead that last one. Jeremy Gardner leading about the last 5 laps of this thing, and he's going to bring home his 3rd win in a row.
Yeah, congrats to Jeremy Gardner. That was a great run there at the end, really setting it up, making sure he pushed at the right time. As he gives us really good content here as he poses right on the stripe. Always love that. I never tell the drivers, but I feel like I should. If you're going to do a burnout, do it right there at the line, because that's where I'm setting the cameras up at. It just blew up right there.
And there it goes. But yeah, super interesting to kind of see all the different strategies employed by the different drivers tonight. I mean, you saw Jamie Horn kind of win that first stage pretty commandingly and then had to slide back and deal with some damage. Still able to pull a top 5 out here tonight. Very impressive, especially on those older tires. And then Ryan Moyer led pretty much every lap of stage 2. Jeremy Gardner able to get around him with about 5 to go and bring this thing home.
Yep. congrats to Jeremy Gardner, Ryan Moore going to finish second place, Craig Bontrager third in the RER machine. Fourth going to be Jake Euler, made a really good run there at the end to secure that fourth place spot. Jamie Horn fifth place, Chris McCullough is going to be sixth place. Seventh is going to go to Tyler Justice. Eighth is going to Jacob Hutnick. Ninth, Kenneth McCullough Jr. 10th place will be Greg McConey. Brandon Trush is going to finish 11th here tonight. Simon Grills very fast at the very beginning here, but had some issues to work out and fell back to 12th place. Aiden Wilson 13th and Cody Bullock in 14th place. And that's going to round out your results for Darlington Raceway with the Sunbelt Rentals Cup Series as we try to get some of these drivers up here to the booth and get some interviews. And we're still waiting on a few of them, but why don't you tell us about our sponsors while we're waiting for a few of these guys to get settled?
I think I can handle that. And we also have in the comments Joel Maring saying, great job, 35. Shouting out Craig Bontrager with his third place finish. But again, this is the Sunbelt Rentals Cup Series. Huge shout out to Sunbelt Rentals for making this whole thing possible. They keep us up here in the booth. They keep these drivers out here on the track with something to race for. We are hugely, hugely appreciative of them for being our series sponsor this year. Sunbelt Rentals is nationwide, and if you have any sort of construction equipment needs, whether that be some small residential work around the house, or you're leading up a big commercial or industrial project and you need some equipment and you need it fast, be sure to check out your local Sunbelt Rentals. They will make sure that you stay taken care of and get the equipment you need to stay on time and under budget. I myself have worked with Sunbelt Rentals on a number of occasions, and they've always been very, very professional and know exactly what they're doing. Be sure to check out Sunbelt Rentals at your local facility. If you ever have any sort of needs for any equipment, again, huge shout out to Sunbelt Rentals for making this thing happen. And then, as always, with our shameless self-promotion, myself and John make up Knapp Daddy Racing. We are not just here on YouTube, although we are delighted to be. And be sure you like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss a single second of any of the Sunbelt Rentals Cup Series action, which you can find here live every single Monday night at 8 o'clock. But we also are a iRacing design shop as well. And if you have any logo, template, or design needs for your iRacing car, hopefully for real cars here too, coming soon. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Be on the lookout for that. But if you have any sort of racing design template or logo needs, be sure to check out our website, knappdaddyracing.com. KNAPPDADDYRACING.com. Be sure to check us out on the socials. We are live on TikTok as often as we can, and then you can also follow us over on Instagram and Facebook. But we appreciate everyone very much for tuning in week after week. Be sure to check us out, and we are looking forward to bringing you the rest of the season of the Sunbelt Rentals Cup Series as we get closer and closer to playoff time.
Sure do. Yeah. Yeah, that was kind of the idea. It was just seeing how if I could run with Gardner, and then they started pulling away, and then I started getting into a better rhythm and was able to. I feel like I was starting to catch them, especially when they hit lap traffic. And then they were struggling with lap traffic. I struggled with lap traffic. I think I went pancaked the wall there at the end. I think with 5 or 6 to go, and bent the steering trying to get around 2 lappers. And from then on out, I was just knew I was locked into third. But yeah, maybe had something for him in the long run. But definitely needed help from the lap cars to catch him, and just didn't shake out tonight. Oh, for sure. I had like small damage in the first stage. It was like 49 seconds worth of repairs, and it was knocking me 2-3 tenths off of everybody. I mean, so even just a little bit of damage definitely makes a difference. And so yeah, once we got her fixed up, just trying to stay out of everything, and especially off that wall. The wall flirts with you. It's like, hey, no, you smacked it. There's no damage. You smacked it. There's no damage. And then you do it that one time, and now you're steering damage, and you're done, right? So fun track though. I love this place. Oh, for sure. It was definitely a right front race. We were seeing, I think I had one set of tires that I had 65 laps on, and I had a 90% right rear corner. So it was, we were barely using the right rear there, and it was just managing that right front. And, I feel like everybody was getting a sense of how they were going to pace themselves, and then it kind of started playing out there at the end. And then pit strategy, I'm not even sure what everybody did. I think Moyer, Gardner, and I roughly did the same thing. We somehow came out roughly together, and I thought I had a terrible pit, and somehow came out behind Gardner. So overall, not disappointed with the night. Just Jeremy Gardner's got to quit stealing all my playoff points, man. We're gonna have to have a team meeting. It's one of the tracks I probably have lower experience on, but I enjoy it. So I'll just see if I can figure it out and put some speed together. Um, you know, Pocono's fun to be on. And it'll be good in these cars especially. Oh, Rogue Energy for sure. Rusty putting this deal together. I was on some Rogue Energy tonight. I was actually drinking the Tiger's blood. It's pretty good stuff. Get your discount code RER. Get yourself a discount. Check out. It's good stuff. It tastes great and it works. Want to thank the league, Sunbelt for sponsoring the series, league admins for doing the work, putting the stats together. It takes work to put this stuff together, and appreciate them. So. Yeah, great broadcast, guys. See you next week.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Um, my wheelbase kind of overheated a little bit, and I lost force feedback at like beginning of stage 3, I think it was. But I was still, I still ran the fastest lap doing them. But lap traffic, I think it just killed me. I think my tires were still fine. I think we were probably about the same speed, but I came up on Simon, I lost like 2 seconds, and I came up on my teammate. He was saving fuel. I lost time getting by him, and then that was it. But I had a chance, I think with like 2 to go, to get back by him on the backstretch. He got in trouble there, but I hit the brakes. I didn't want to. Two lap cars got together in front of him. I didn't want to pass him that way, but he deserved that one. He raced me clean there. Pocono's always been good to me. It's my home track. About 30 minutes from there. Every time I ever race there, it's always been nostalgic and fun for me because it's close. But yeah, we'll see how it is. I haven't ran it much on iRacing, but we'll give it a shot. Yeah, just my teammates. They put in a good showing tonight. Jake almost stretched the fuel there. Aiden struggled a little bit, but he was having fun. So
Well, we appreciate it, man, and Thanks for coming up talking to us. Congrats on P2 tonight. Looking forward to having you up here next week. Always have a dominant car, so I'm sure we'll see you here next week as well.
All right, have a good night.
You too.
Hey, apparently we have some audio issues.
Yeah, I think I might have been able to fix that there. But let us know. All right, there we go. Perfect. Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, as a lot of people know, there is a new update coming tomorrow to iRacing, and it has completely messed up all of my back-end equipment that I have. So I think they tried to get ahead of that and do an update early. So I had to make some adjustments here, especially with the transitions that we do. But that was... Did we at least get Ryan Moyer's interview in? Could everybody hear Ryan Moyer? You don't have to hear me. I don't...
Everybody could hear the interviewee. They could not hear us.
Perfect. Love it.
So it said,
Hey.
Jeremy said it sounded like they were talking to themselves, and also Rusty in here saying super proud of the RER guys tonight. Yeah, huge night from the Rogue Energy Racing guys.
Hey, long race. Some of these guys do talk to themselves. I don't blame them. But coming up now, we have Jeremy Gardner coming to the booth. Jeremy, welcome back. 3 weeks straight. That's a three-peat for you. How do you feel coming out of here with a win? I know you said this is your favorite track of Darlington.
It feels good, man. I had zero confidence first couple stages. I don't know what I was doing, but I had zero confidence. Some guys were rolling, and I just got dirty air, and I just kept burning my stuff up. But it definitely feels good to go 3 in a row. Like I told y'all last week, it's my favorite track, so it feels good to win here for sure.
Yeah, it's interesting you mentioned the confidence part because we talk about that a lot on the broadcast and stuff, mainly because I'm a head case myself when it comes to racing. But how big does confidence play, especially at a rhythm track like this where you're trying to really get in a groove?
Yeah, and confidence is everything at a track like this. You have no room for mistake here. You ever drive it, you're gonna kill the wall. 3 and 4, dude. If you ever drive 3 and 4, you're gonna pay for it in 10 or 15 laps and start hitting the wall and exit. So you got to have some confidence, that's for sure. Man, I hate that ended the way it did because me and him were gonna have a hell of a run together. Lap cars, I hate navigating lap cars at Darlington. God, it is hell. But he slammed on brakes or he slowed down for it. He didn't have to do that. I was okay if he passed me. So shout out to him for running me clean right there. I kind of wish he wouldn't have ran like that and still kept going. But overall, man, I can't complain. Hell of a night.
Yeah, it looked like a great night for you. I know there in the last few laps, we were looking at just how fast you were. For about 10 laps there, it looked like you were sizing them up. Looked like you could have made a pass. Is that a strategy you had in mind just to kind of see how you were going to make the pass before you actually did it?
Yeah, I was kind of looking at the lap times the beginning of the run, and I think he was running 10th or 2 faster than I was. I think I had 2 lap newer tires, so I knew if I could stay in a proper distance, I could probably make something happen towards the end. So yeah, I was just pretty much trying to size them up, just watch the times at the beginning and see where I could compare at the end. So you got 20 laps and the fall off, the car just dies. So I had to go.
Absolutely. Well, congrats on the win tonight. Before I let you go, any sponsor shout outs you would like to give?
Yeah, my guys over at GOR. Another sponsor I have in another league is Save 22, above the yellow line media. Of course, y'all guys putting on the broadcast tonight. Appreciate you. Can't wait to go back and watch it. Of course, my guys at Rogue Energy, use promo code RER at checkout for 10% off order. One of the best energy drinks on the market. Of course, my guys over at the Rogue Energy team, appreciate them tonight. And we'll see y'all next week.
Yes, sir. We'll probably see you back up here, see if you can get a 4-peat here for the Sunbelt Rentals Cup Series. So congrats again tonight, and we'll hope to see you next week.
Yes, sir. We'll see you.
And that is going to be Jeremy Gardner, your first place winner tonight, 3-peat winner here in the Sunbelt Rentals Cup Series. Just kind of came out, got second place his first run here, and then first place for the past 3 runs. Can't beat that.
Definitely can't. And I mean, like we were kind of talking about in that interview, I mean, kind of shows the versatility that he has too. Because I mean, his previous 2 wins were overall pretty dominant. I would actually go on to say very dominant. And then tonight, like he said, was kind of stuck in some dirty air. I think only led like a lap or 2 through the first 2 stages. First stage was dominated by Jamie Horn, and then that second one was all Ryan Moyer. And then to be able to kind of keep your head in the game and get back there and make that push towards the end. Be able to bring this whole thing home and get the three-peat, I think is super, super impressive. And, Jeremy Gardner just continues to show up and show out here in the Sunbelt Rentals Cup Series. And I appreciate, too, the, really classy racing there between Jeremy and Ryan there at the end. I know they were dealing with some lap traffic, and Jeremy saying that he kind of wishes that Ryan went around him because he had a chance to, and Ryan saying that he didn't want to because he didn't want to win that way. I just think that's really classy racing out of both of those guys. And Ryan done so well through this year and still your points leader, and then Jeremy Gardner's definitely got a head of steam.
Yeah, I mean, that's always kind of the fear from a broadcasting standpoint when you start a new series or a new league, is kind of feeling out the personalities of the league and how it's going to be. And there's just a lot of classy drivers in here, a lot of really good drivers and talented drivers. I'm sitting here looking at the I ratings right now. Not a single one less than 2,000 in your top 8 tonight. I only see not many actually less than 2,000. They're all right there at 2,000, which is pretty hard to get in the whole iRacing community. But a lot of good talent in this league, man. It makes some really good racing, especially there at the end. Seeing how things shake out, a lot of pit strategies. We've talked about other leagues before. When a league gets this competitive, it's almost like it's one off pit road. Got to really make sure you hit your pit stops right, make sure your strategy's right, don't overshoot your stall. Definitely adds a new challenge to it. But yeah, it's been a fun season so far, and it's only getting better.
Yeah, I really do think it's just going to continue to get better. The playoff races getting to start really heating up, and guys that are trying to fight their way in. Ryan Moore trying to hang on to that lead up there at the front. He built out so commandingly here at the beginning of the year. But I mean, I think Sunbelt Rental Series is far from its peak. I think we're going to continue to see this thing grow, and especially if we can get some more teams involved. And I think it's just really going to be one to beat. Which, speaking of, if anybody is out there and you're into iRacing and you want to get involved in a very competitive, very, very strong, growing league, be sure to check out the Sunbelt Rentals Cup Series. I know you can speak to a lot of the admins. I know Cody Bullock is usually the one that takes a look at the incoming drivers, so I know you can reach out to him if you are looking for a new league. A lot of, like John was just saying, a lot of really good drivers in this league. Lots of good competition, good tracks, and you can kind of race with the best and know that you're gonna get race clean. It's gonna be a good time, and also you get to see your car and see your name live here on Knapp Daddy Racing every single week. So I'd like to think that's a benefit too.
Oh yeah, 100%. But yep, really good race tonight. Love to see it. Love to go to Pocono next week. Going to be a difficult challenge for a lot of drivers. 3 totally different turns there as they try to navigate that triangle. That's going to be next week on Monday night, starting at 8:15 p.m. Hopefully we actually get started on time next week. All the issues are straightened out, all the kinks are straightened out, but it'll be right here on Knapp Daddy Racing, starting at 8:15. Cannot wait to see you there, see these other drivers there. But that's all I've got for tonight. For the final time, I have been John Smith.
I have been Hunter Foley.
And we will see you guys next week.
Take care, everyone. See you next week.